the one thing that I'm like a little bit strange about is like, why is it that they'll have on guests and then they won't mention the guest at all? They'll just go right into discussion, and I'm just like, who is this person? Why are they here? And do they know that they're being recorded? Just like, I have no idea what this is. Hey guys, this is episode 1 of our new podcast, which I guess the working title is MTGeez Spellcast.
Yes.
I'm Matt Pinnell, and with me is
Matt Marino.
So we've been playing Magic for a couple years now, and we're we have a lot of interesting things that we want to talk about here on this show. It's going to be a little this, a little that. So this first episode is going to be introductions and everything, who we are, and that can kind of inform you like what kind of stuff you're going to see on this or hear on this podcast. So Matt, why don't you start in like when did you start playing Magic? And
I started playing Magic actually back in the Yu-Gi-Oh days.
Yeah.
With an older group of friends that I had, because we saw Magic and we got interested in the way that it worked.
Yeah, you were playing before I was.
Yeah, but then what eventually happened was Yu-Gi-Oh was still more of the popular thing, so I dropped off Magic, got into that.
Oh man, I feel so bad. Yeah, guys, we used to play Yu-Gi-Oh, and not that we're like, oh, that game for babies, but like, we all kind of like came to the consensus in the recent years that Yu-Gi-Oh is not as good as Magic.
No way near. Too expensive. Your holo cards are your only good cards.
Yeah, I still will see a foil card in Magic and be like, this must be good. And it's like, no, every card can be a foil. It's just a shitty common. Like, leave it alone, Matt.
And honestly, in some ways, too expensive. You can make an easily working commander deck for $100, while a card in Yu-Gi-Oh will be $100.
Yeah. The prices in Yu-Gi-Oh were astronomical, and I mean, we had some fun times, and I'm not getting rid of my cards, but
yeah, not bashing it. It was a fun time. I still have all my decks. It's just that we've moved on to a superior game.
yeah. I constantly like will look back at things in Yu-Gi-Oh and be like, holy crap, why was this so convoluted? Like, the rulings in Yu-Gi-Oh, first off, were different depending on if you lived in the States or in Japan.
Yeah.
Why is that a thing? That should not be a thing.
And because of ruling changes, cards would get reprinted about 6 to 7 times.
Yeah, they would change what cards did.
Yeah, and not only were they reprints, but they were also reprinted with the rule changes to make that card legal again.
So dumb.
So
yeah, we came from Yu-Gi-Oh! Matt played Magic a little bit on and off.
Yeah, and then it turned out it was in college when I really started getting into the game. It was actually in college where I bought my first box, and that was the I always forget the name.
Time Spiral?
Time Spiral, yes.
I think that was so. You came in. Well, when would you say you came in? Like, what was your first pack that you?
Time Spiral.
It was Time Spiral. So
Time
you were
Spiral
playing with like
is the first memorable pack that I can remember.
Okay,
yes.
because before that you played with cards that you acquired like from friends and stuff.
Just hand-me-downs from friends that were playing Magic in college. They actually handed me like my first like working deck.
Yeah, that was like me. I got cards from Corey Zinkowitz, and I had no idea what I was looking at.
Exactly.
And on that note too, like did you, when you were first playing Magic, did you, like, if you bought, like, a deck or something, you'd look at it and you're like, I have no idea what I would change out in this, because I used to get that.
Exactly, yeah. I would put in even bad
no context.
Bad cards, I'd be like, it costs 1 mana, it has to be good.
It has to be good. Oh, I had the opposite problem. I'd be like, this thing is amazing. It costs 6 mana. That's fine. What's 6 mana?
Yeah. And then we eventually learned, and we're like, oh.
Yeah, you actually have to pay attention to that stuff. So Time Spiral for you.
So Time Spiral would be my first like known memory of like buying a pack, and it was actually at a convention where I'm like, I don't have any cards. Buying 1 pack isn't enough. I have a good amount of cash on me for this event, for this con. Why don't I just buy a box? and it was that box where I got my foil Tarmogoyf.
Oh yeah,
my first
the
box,
good one, really good one.
My first box of ever buying in Magic is where I got a foil Tarmogoyf, and I'll never forget the look on my friend's face when I pulled it, because I pulled 2 Tarmogoyfs in that box.
Yeah,
a non-hollow and a hollow, and my friend was flipping out.
I was talking with Anthony the other day. We're just like, oh yeah, Matt has like two Tarmogoyfs. One of them is like the really good foil one. Like,
yeah, and then it
shit,
was also at the pre-release where I got that steam vent, that hollow
steam
vents.
And I was there for that one.
And Anthony was saying, he goes, I really hope I pull this land, and I'm like, what? He was calling them like man lands or something like that.
Yeah, he was talking about a different land where they're dual lands. They come in tapped, but then you can turn them into a creature for a cost.
Yeah,
and they were all a little bit different.
And then he was also talking about some type of land. I forget what he was calling it, a full art land. And I'm like, what the hell is a full art land?
What's a flart land?
And then he goes, oh, it's this hollow. He goes, it's really, really, really rare. And then I opened my first pack at the pre-release. I'm like, Anthony, what's this? And I show him, and he goes, that's the full art land I'm talking about.
Oh man. It makes me think of the phrase "beginner's luck" comes to mind.
Yeah, because I had no idea what I was even looking for.
Yeah, so. But it's great when you have those stories of like early pulls, like
early
before
pulls,
you even knew what you had, and you get to look back and be like, "This was like my first card."
Yeah, the hollow Jace, the legendary Jace that flips into the Planeswalker. I have that. He's a legendary creature that you flip him, and then he's actually a Planeswalker.
Oh yeah, what was that? Magic Origins, I think.
I believe it was Origins.
Yeah.
It was like the birth of like the original 6 Planeswalkers.
Yeah, that one's. I think that's like a $40 card actually. Good stuff.
Yeah. So.
I was actually looking at that, and I'm like, oh, can I make this commander? And I was like, not that.
Honestly, you could. You can get away with it because he is a legendary creature. He's not
you could use him as a commander.
But
so
be it.
Yeah, so as for me, I came in, I think also Time Spiral, but I wasn't getting packs so much as I was getting hand-me-down cards, and I think the first big thing that I did in Magic was actually with my now roommate, John Paul. I was working with him at Target, and he invited me to get together with him and some friends for Magic. And we bought the intro packs, so it was like it was a ready to go deck, but it came with like 2 packs of cards.
Those are fantastic.
They're fun. Yeah, those are a great way to get into the game. I had no idea what I was doing. I roughly knew the rules because Bobby had been trying to get me into the game, and so I had some cards that kind of knew the game, but I was terrible. I had no idea what I was doing. Yeah, and it didn't really stick then. I also went to the pre-release with Anthony for Fate Reforged, and I kind of knew enough to play. You know, this was still Yu-Gi-Oh time.
Our deck building was not existent at that time.
Yeah, and it didn't stick. Like I had fun with it. I think I really liked the mana system. I liked that you would pay for cards. I was like, that's cool. Like I love tapping 5 lands and putting out a big card. Like that's so much fun.
Actually, what's really funny is if I'm remembering correctly, you started going to the pre-releases when dual lands started making their huge like
shock lands, fetch lands,
dual lands, the ones that can tap for like green and white, like the actual like.
Well, duels have been in the game since its inception, but I know that fetch lands. I think Khans of Tarkir.
Well, what I mean is like I used to play just like mono decks or whatever, or just stuff like that. And also I don't want to say this because I wasn't exactly sure, but I feel like mono color decks were a little more common before this resurgence of
when I talk
lands.
to older Magic players, people that were in it from earlier in the game's history, they gravitate towards monocolored decks. Multicolored decks were didn't really get very much support until Ravnica, I guess. Yeah, and then so they started doing the guilds, the 2-color pairings.
Wasn't it clans first?
No, it was the guilds in Ravnica, so the 10 2-color pairings, and then in in Shards of Alara, they did the 3-color
Yeah, shards. Yeah,
shards.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
And then in the Tarkir block, they did the wedges, which were a color and its enemies.
Yeah.
So the shards were a color and its 2 allies. The wedges are a color and its 2 enemies.
And it is also in clans when we started getting concrete names for some color combinations, which was like a Jeskai, which was white, blue, red.
Exactly. And players loved that. And but yeah, so we both have been playing kind of for the same length of time, but for me, I didn't really get it, and I didn't really become a Magic player until Shadows over Innistrad. Bobby and I were working together at Lanco, and we got into Innistrad in a big way, and we got a bunch of like commons and stuff from the card shop up the block, and we just went to town, and we really got into the game, and I think we kind of brought that back to the group as a whole,
You
too.
did bring it back to the group, because after I had got out of college, I wasn't really playing it that much anymore, because I was,
like,
I wasn't playing with them. Yeah. Exactly. And then you guys started playing. I'm like, I actually have like a Magic deck back home. You're like, go get it, and I went and got it, and
You were really good.
I had forgotten how much I had liked.
Well, you're still really good. It's just that at the time you had such a leg up on me. I was like, oh my god, you're like
it's because
running circles around me.
It's because the deck was built like by people who had been playing for such a long time. So
that was cool. It was cool to see.
The reason I feel like that deck fell off, just going a little off topic here, is because it's not my playstyle.
Yeah, so that was the Goblin Rogue.
It was the
deck.
Goblin Fairy Rogues.
Goblin Fairy Rogues.
So it was blue, black, and Goblin Fairy Rogues.
What style of deck was that?
It wasn't control. It was called what they told me is Bruiser. Go in hard, which isn't really Blue's thing.
yeah, it's a little strange. What style of player are you? What do you gravitate towards?
As I played more and figured out my play style, it's more of a storm type play style. I like comboing off. I like building up a combo and then just going off in one turn.
Yeah, you like to make decks that like have a lot of like self-interaction.
Yeah, it's got a slow build up, but if I'm able to build up, so that's why a lot of my decks have blue in them, because I need that control to get the build up going.
Yeah.
And then once that build up once that setup is done, I just get that one good turn
I
can take off. It goes.
Yeah. Myself, I am also control. I don't know if
I'd say you're more combo-y.
Yeah, I'm not so much Storm. I do have some decks that will do many cards in a row, like my Quip deck will do that. I like to try as many different things as I can. One thing that I got a kick out of was spell copying.
What was that commandment that you had for a long time?
So the first one was Wart the Raid Mother, red-green. 6, and the important thing is that when she entered the battlefield, she would create 2 red-green goblin tokens, and then your red and green instant and sorcery spells had Conspire, which is where you can, as you cast them, if you tap 2 creatures that share color with the spell, then you would copy that spell.
Such a weird mechanic.
it was definitely weird, but so she and her 2 goblins, right, so you have 3 creatures, so if you got 1 more red-green creature on the field, or if it was a red or green creature, and you had a red or green spell, match the color, you can copy 2 different spells. So that was kind of like my big. Was
that your entrance to Commander?
Entrance to Commander, yeah. So Bobby got me an Azuri deck, which was blue-green, and I enjoyed it. I didn't really get it yet, I knew Modern, but I didn't understand Commander yet, and then Wart was my first attempt at making my own Commander deck, which we'll get into Commander stuff, but yeah, I would say I'm like combo-y too, but I've been trying to dabble more in control and with aggro and like mid-range lately.
My first Commander deck you actually helped me build. That was the Kalidas zombie deck, mono blacks.
Yes.
However, but that was like a deck that we just built on the fly because we were playing Commander. I didn't have a Commander deck, and I wanted in. My first actual really like self-built Commander deck was Arcades.
The
wall deck, which you're like, I hate it.
I couldn't believe what that deck was able to do. I'm like,
with
these walls should not be able to attack. This is sacrilege. Yeah, but that deck was very cool. Yeah, that is a very you deck.
It's still around, and I'm gonna
use it more.
I'm gonna build it back up.
Did you get some new support for it?
New support came out for it.
Okay.
So
get your hands on it. I would say that, like, nowadays we're mostly playing Commander, but we also like to try some of the newer stuff that's coming out, like Oathbreaker.
We've done Oathbreakers.
Did Oathbreaker. We did Tiny Leaders.
We do Tiny Leaders. We still do Oathbreaker. Because you know, as much as we love EDH and Commander, it's always good to break away from what you're constantly doing just to get a little breather of a different format.
Yeah, and we like doing Modern.
Yes.
Mostly kitchen table Modern. We're not like. I think we would keep up with the meta, but we don't pay too much attention to it. I think.
Yeah, I have 3 Modern decks that are legal. They're legal.
Yeah. Well, we follow the lists and everything, and they're legal Modern decks, but
we were not going to spend tons of money.
It's kitchen table Magic. They're not competitive like $300, $600 Modern decks.
Yeah, we're not going into
that. That's goofballs.
Actually, bringing that up, we are very. If we ever go through any type of deck techs, which we will in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
We are more of a budget type group.
Exactly.
Normally for our EDH Commander decks, our budget cost is usually around $100.
Yeah.
You can go a little over. We don't mind.
I've seen content creators online doing budget builds where it's like $30 and under, and like we could try that, but
we could.
Budget for me is just that, like, you know, it's not going to break the bank. Like
like $1 a card is well understandable.
Yeah,
and also. If you put in like a card that has a super expensive, like of the type, we're not going to hold that against you. It's your choice if you want that super expensive version.
Yeah, it's all about your play group, like whatever your group is doing, and Magic is different things to different people. I think that's one of the most powerful things about it.
Exactly.
So,
just as an example, I'm starting to build a mono black MTGeez deck. MTGeez the Unhallowed. I have the was it Modern Masters that came out?
Modern Horizons.
No, the one before that.
It
was around Christmas time. I'm starting to forget the name.
Ultimate Masters.
Ultimate Masters, yeah. In my box topper, it was MTGeez.
Right.
So that card's $50.
Yeah.
But its normal cost is $20. So that's, so.
Yeah, when you're considering a card's cost, you always just go to the lowest common denominator.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's rarities and hollow things.
Yeah, you can get a card in foil and stuff. That doesn't mean it's a $50 card. It's,
so you want to build a Scarab God
that
deck.
has no impact on its place in the game.
Yeah, it's like, I want to build a Scarab God deck. Oh, perfect. That works. I got the $100 special version. Well, there's your Commander deck. You got the one card.
That's great.
Yeah, no, we don't hold that. We don't hold it like that. So
in
the future we do want to do that. As a matter of fact, do you want to just jump into that? Like what our plans are for the channel?
Yeah. So this channel is gonna host an abundance of content. A couple different things. It's gonna be this podcast here. It's going to be gameplay footage, Paper Magic. Primarily Commander, but also a little bit of, the other formats, Oathbreaker and Mod. I don't know why I keep going Oathbreaker. Commander, Modern. I think Anthony wants to do some Legacy. We'll probably do.
Oh, that's gonna be hard.
don't know. I'm gonna let him lead the way on that. If he wants to buy those cards, go for it.
If he wants to show them off, he can. But that's up to him.
We're gonna have a lot of fun with this. There's gonna be a lot of different things. Deck techs.
Definitely deck techs. Also updates on like some of our Commander decks. What we've done to change them to keep up with the meta and the sets that are coming out. We also big thing that I
Set
want to do is I
reviews.
want to do set reviews,
Yep.
and not just the mythic and rares like some other people will do. I want to go through like the whole set by color, just to let everyone know what's coming out, what could be good in what formats.
Awesome.
And also, what is legitimately trash and what isn't.
yeah. Look, let's call a spade, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, in fact, next episode we're going to actually get into Throne of Eldraine.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I've told Matt to stay away from it for a little bit because I've been looking into it.
I've not looked at anything. It's going to be first impressions for me.
I am very happy to be the spoiler of some of the stuff for him.
Yeah.
And
thanks for listening.
oh wait, celebration.
Oh yeah, you know what? Okay, all right. Let's get this too. So Matt picked up some packs for us to crack.
We got our core set core set 2020, also known as M20.
Yeah,
I believe.
So let's crack into some of these and we
don't
talk about what
we don't have to list off.
Fun.
Yeah, we don't have to list off what we got. If you pull like just pretty much, I guess like the rare and mythics.
Rares. Yeah, rares and mythics.
And hollows if you get them.
Yeah, well, because foils are the best cards.
Because they're
by Yu-Gi-Oh! Logic.
Remember, the hollows are the only ones that count.
Ooh, that's kind of cool. Ooh, Bag of Holding, love it. Reference to D&D too.
Yeah, definitely.
Bag of Holding is nice. Oh, and a foil Boreal Elemental, which I actually had one of those. Maybe I'll make an all foil Boreal Elemental deck.
I got a mythic, a Johnny Strength of the Pride.
Oh my god, nice!
Got the legendary Planeswalker, a Johnny. I think that's the good one from this set as well.
Yeah.
Do we want to just do a quick review of him? Since he's a mythic?
Sure. Why don't you describe the card?
Okay, so we got a Johnny Strength of the Pride. He is a white legendary planeswalker who is 2 and white. He comes out with 5 loyalty counters, and his +1 is you gain life equal to the number of creatures you control plus the number of planeswalkers you control. His -2 is create a 2/2 white cat soldier creature token named Johnny Pride Mate. Oh, look!
Which they actually give you a token.
They actually give you a token.
I pulled the token.
Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on a Johnny's Pride Mate, and his 0, which doesn't look like it's going to be an ultimate. Actually, no, it is actually. If you have at least 15 life more than your starting life total, exile a Johnny's Strength of the Pride and each artifact and creature your opponent controls.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god. A one-sided partial board wipe.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Good pull.
That actually works with his +1 and his Johnny's Pride Mates, because they all have... Because the Johnny's Pride Mates have, when you gain life, they get stronger, and his +1 is gaining life.
That's cool. I just like the +1 -2 back and forth of like making Pride Mates and then buffing them. Like,
Exactly.
That's pretty sweet.
So that's my first pull. Did you get is that a hollow right there?
It's a Boreal Elemental, yeah.
Boreal Elemental.
It's not that great. But I did pull a Bag of Holding, which is an artifact for 1 mana. When you discard a card, exile that card from your graveyard, and it has 2 tap abilities. 2 and tap, draw a card, then discard a card, in which case it would go in the Bag of Holding. And you also have 4 tap, sacrifice Bag of Holding, return all cards exiled with the bag to their owner's hand. So basically,
so it's draw.
You can draw and put something in the Bag of Holding, and then you can later sacrifice the Bag of Holding to put all its stuff back in your hand. It's a very cool card. If I was drafting, I would definitely take this as my first pick because, well, artifacts are nice when you're not sure what color you're doing yet.
I can see that comboing really well with a Madness
and you could
deck.
just slowly create card advantage. Madness. So exile a card from your graveyard.
And Madness is when you discard this card, pay its mana cost.
Yeah, it's basically a Madness outlet. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Because you can get them back.
I'm actually thinking about doing a Madness deck, so that would be good. Ooh. Drakuseth, Maw of Flames. 4 red. Flying 7/7. It's a 7/7 with flying, and then whenever he attacks, deals 4 damage to any target, and 3 damage to each of up to 2 other targets. So, wham bam, thank you ma'am.
My thing is I got 2 dual lands. I got the Temple of Triumph, It comes into it's a it's a
that's
dual.
awesome.
Yeah, it's a dual land. It's red white. When it enters the battlefield tapped, and when it enters the battlefield, you get to scry 1. And then Dismal Backwater, which is also a dual land, black-blue, and also comes into the field tapped. However, when it enters the battlefield, you gain a life.
Gotta love those life lands.
Love those life
better
lands.
than Guildgates. And also, the temple is just awesome. I love Scry lands.
Better than Guildgates. However, Guildgates do have a use as in a special commander deck that I'm building.
They have is a gate.
Yeah. It's actually very important that you have that in their name.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that. All right, you got one more pack?
I have one more pack.
Right, what'd you get?
Let's see. Anything good? Let's just get to the end. Let's see. Not just a normal rare. Wake Root Elemental. It's for 4 and green. Oh, okay. You tap 5 green mana to untap target land you control. It becomes a 5/5 elemental creature with haste.
Oh shoot! You turn things into man lands.
And this effect lasts as long as that land remains on the battlefield. It doesn't end. It doesn't go until end of turn.
It's not just till end of turn. That's cool. You can
That's actually really cool because you
army.
you untap a target land with 5/5 for haste, so you can actually attack with it if you want, or tap it again.
Okay, that would definitely be pretty cool in draft. I would.
This is something I would.
I mean, it begs to be mono green, but
yeah.
So that might be tricky. Draft would be easier if you're just going to be in green anyway, but
I like the Bag of Holding though, but that's going to my D&D roots. But that's a story for a different day.
All right, well, definitely thanks to Matt for these packs, and yeah, that's us. That should do it for this episode. Come back for next episode for the Throne of Eldraine teaser spoiler.
And then once the full set has been revealed, we will start going through the actual set and our feelings on each color.
Yeah, we'll do a comprehensive at that time and give our thoughts and gush a little bit. You know,
yeah,
you gotta gush. All right, see you guys.
All right. Peace.